Hello and welcome to another Tim Allen 1337 video, where today we get to talk about Kakao Games getting fired, or more accurately, not having their contract renewed in favor for Pearl Abyss's self-publishing team. This has been a much anticipated thing for many long-term players, but definitely content creators, especially those of us who are BDO partners with both Kakao and Pearl Abyss. First off, and really quickly, for those who don't know, let me explain the difference between publishing and developing. The developer makes the game, patches it, creates new content, pretty much anything involved with the actual game itself. In simple terms, publishers are middlemen or sales rep and or customer service, like the game masters, customer service tickets, restoration tickets, leasing the servers, translating patch notes, providing feedback from the community served, all that kind of stuff. Before I really get started, let me be clear, though I definitely have my gripes with Kakao Games being the publisher for all these years, and I do think that some people who work for the game are specifically lazy or at least ineffective. I want to make it, again, clear that I have nothing specifically against the company of Kakao Games, but it was clear and obvious, to quote a previous CM that came on my podcast, Nerds and Words, that Pearl Abyss and Kakao Games had a strained relationship, and I believe that the game and community were the real losers from that relationship. So the fact that that issue is being resolved is something that all players should be really happy about. To sum up my time being partnered with Pearl Abyss as a publisher through the Xbox release of BDO North America, I felt like I was actually in a partnership with a company. My point of contact was a nice young guy named Ran. Though his knowledge of the game was a little light, he wasn't afraid to ask questions, specifically when it came to the PC vets. We worked together to figure out like patch issues, community events were plentiful. Right when Xbox launched, CMs would actually get into RBF nightly and give everyone who participated extra rewards. It was kind of fun. The communication from PA to its player base was clear and often gave more context to patches and buffs and what was coming up through consistent streams with their CMs. As a content creator, if we had an issue with each other, we spoke frankly and professionally. I also felt that partners were vetted and held to a standard. If we had an idea or feedback, we were acknowledged and worked with, even if the answer was just a flat no. Most importantly, no DM went unanswered, even from the CMs, GMs, or really anybody else in the Discord. Furthermore, I felt that our feedback was heard and given to the developers in a way that I never really felt while working with Kakao Games. One of the biggest gripes with BDO streamers is we actually have no idea if Kakao Games sends our feedback to Pearl Abyss, or if it is, if they do an effective job at getting the point across. This isn't to say everything was perfect. Guild pings didn't exist for months, support tickets took forever if you're an average player, didn't know anybody. Pets were like inexplicably shorter ranged for no reason. We couldn't really get an explanation on that, so there were still issues, but they were really minor. My distaste for this company really goes all the way back to the mishandling of Blade Bow Quest with the famous 2-worker, 1-node scandal. I'm not going to get into all the details, but they basically made him a huge public enemy for what really equated to being a stupid bug that made him a couple extra million silver over a really long time. It did so much damage to Blade and his reputation. I think he's still just as upset about it 3 years later as he was the day it happened. Blade has a ton of videos about this if you really want more information about that specifically. But I've been wrongfully banned multiple times myself. Some for just like reporting somebody else and then they put punishment on my account instead of theirs. And then another time, I was suspended pending an investigation for allegedly participating in a Discord that was sharing naked photos of BDO players that was being advertised in game world chat. The thing here was I didn't even know the Discord existed until my account was suspended. I was almost permanently banned because somebody changed their Discord nickname to Tim Allen 1337. Anyone who took 2 seconds to actually look at this would have seen that I wasn't actually there. The real showing of bad moderation was the Afaru map scandal, which heavily affected not only the culture of our game, but also the economy. Barcode and Black Rose famously ran hundreds of these returning player guild event items, providing billions of silver in a very short amount of time to those individuals who participated. Tons of tickets and DMs were sent ahead of time to see if this was, quote, in the spirit of the game, since it was definitely abusing a couple of concurrent events. But there was no response until Vert, Huntler, and a couple other streamers had thousands of people watching these guilds do it. Moments after outrage on Twitch and in-game start building, obviously, they disabled the maps Kakao Games 20 minutes later and threatened punishment for those who participated. A few weeks later, over 20 accounts were permanently banned, including the GM of Barcode, Kai. but many were seemingly random with the permanent bans. I had a couple of friends in these guilds that reached out and said, I was a huge part of this. I didn't get permanently banned, but my friend did. There was no consistency to it. They also officially stated that these people who took part did exploit. They are exploiters. And they only took back the value of the silver that they earned through a negative balance in their marketplace at a 1-to-1 ratio, effectively just making it a massive silver loan. Even deeper into this, some people were suspended from the Kakao Games partnership program during this event for naming and shaming. Yet somehow, the partnered content creators who participated in the exploit are still partnered to this day. People pointed fingers at each other for months over this, and all it would have taken to prevent it is somebody at Kakao Games paying enough attention to an exploit that had already happened in another region to tell the players asking if it was okay to do it, no. It's safe to say the biggest problem I really had with Kakao Games was their massive inconsistencies when it came to moderation. I was in the guild IDC when the quadrillion silver node bug happened and my idiot GM did a payout. I know from paying attention to send in a ticket and drop guild immediately and not let them try to use their judgment with anything, especially when it comes to my account, because they've proven to me time and time again that they're bad at it. Turns out I was right. People who were sprouts and didn't even receive a payout had their accounts locked for nearly a week, along with others who didn't even take the payout from the guild master. When the silver and item punishment rolled out, they took more items than they said they would from some players, only to return it over a month later after a ton of fighting and threatening to backcharge. Speed hackers ran rampant for months, even years, and bans wouldn't happen, even with reports and streamables or Twitch clips. Racism and personal attacks were hourly occurrences in server and world chat. Kakao Games couldn't understand why they needed to permanently ban people who bought leveling and silver from third-party companies, also known as RMTing, for months after the years it took them to figure out how to even catch them. And there's still other massive bugs and exploits that are being reported but not being responded to when we give them the information. I'm not saying all this is completely Kakao Games' fault, but this strained relationship between the two companies just wasn't working. And I submit that this will be good for all players, even the economy, because maybe, just maybe, we might be able to see some consistency in moderation and punishments with a little bit of transparency. Just a last quick note for the person who ran the partner program at Kakao Games. He was either spread way too thin or incredibly lazy. Either way, the job was never done correctly. A couple of months ago, multiple partners, including myself, left the partner program because of how poorly it was run, and Fake Uniform actually sent this tweet out that has since been deleted, rightfully bashing the non-existent partner program. I sent the manager a Discord message before I left the partner program. I'll leave a link in the description that sums up additional feelings about this topic if you guys are so interested. To sum it up, this is a wonderful change. I appreciate a lot of the hard work that some good people at Kakao Games put in over the years. PM Cool, Dim, CM Good Vibes Guy, CM Richter, GM Onlave, and of course, CM Avalos. I appreciate that being the lead GM of this game, however, and managing this community and Pearl Abyss's wishes could not have been an easy task, but I'm elated that we get a new lead GM that isn't a stubborn, over-emotional Reddit posting meme, and we can look forward to hopefully a better day for BDO, NA, and EU. Thanks for watching this video and listening to my hot takes. Please drop a like and subscribe if you made it this far in the video, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.